Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at light bloom and how to make it really easily, really quickly, and very precise and good looking. So first let's talk about um, why we want light bloom. And for that, I have a few examples here of how light bloom can change an image. So here's a little kind of planet thing I made, and as you might tell, it looks a little bit flat, especially these blue areas, which are supposed to be really bright and like emitting light, but right now it doesn't really look like that. But once I add light bloom, you really see the image starts to pop out. It looks less flat, and definitely everything looks brighter and more powerful. So next example, have just this simple uh, just composite with all 2D shapes. Like there's this cross in the background. We have this silhouette and just looks very flat right now. But once I add light bloom and see boom, it really looks like it's um, is like something real. It looks alive almost. And last example, here's an actual photo, which I got from Unsplash. I did not, in fact, make this myself, but it's just a hallway with LEDs running down it. And, it looks pretty cool, but um, the LEDs don't really seem as bright as they are. But once you add light bloom, it looks really alive. Adds just this sense of dimension, which is a little subtle, but when you turn it off, you can see the difference it makes. So, a few videos ago, I showed some of you how to make light bloom manually, and if you might remember, that took a lot of time and quite a lot of adjusting to get like the perfect result. But uh, using this new app that I have created, you can do it much faster, much better, and you don't even need like a photo editing software or anything. This completely free standalone app uh, that you can use even in your browser. So let's head over to the web page for SuperBloom, and I'll be dropping the link to this site in the description. You see here, uh, there's a button for try it on the web. Uh, as you might notice, we're currently in beta. When we get to when we get past beta, I'm going to be adding downloads so you can use the app offline and on your desktop. So let's open it real quick, and you can upload the image you want to work with. I'm going to be choosing another image I downloaded from Unsplash. I'll be leaving the link to this in the description if you want to follow along or just experiment with it like I'm doing right now. And you see there are just a few controls right here, and it's just a few inputs, but it gives you a lot of control and gives you really, really nice results. So first up we have threshold. This controls like how bright pixels need to be considered a light source. Now, if that sounds a little complicated, uh, simply put, it's just like, for example, like these spots right here, we add bloom to them, but not the road because that's not bright enough. And the threshold just controls how bright it needs to be for us to add bloom to it. And if I decrease it, you can notice that the road is gonna start shining, and I can increase it a little, and now the road isn't gonna be shining as much. And if I increase it all the way up to the 200s, you can see that only like the light sources are selected, and we're only adding glow to those parts of the image. Now we have depth and radius. Depth kind of controls the intensity or the strength of the bloom, whereas radius controls like the size and spread. So if you lower the depth, the bloom gets smaller, but you can also increase the radius to make it big again. But then you'll notice that the bloom looks a lot softer. Now if I decrease the radius, which you can do with your arrow keys if you'd like, but if I decrease it to something like 0.5 and then increase the depth to compensate for that size, let's go even more, 20 and 0.3. Let's go 20, 23. But here you'll notice that the glow looks like it's the same size as it was originally, but it looks a lot more intense. So again, radius, kind of how spread out, how diffused it is, and depth is like how intense, how strong the bloom looks. Now, a lot of other softwares, especially with their built-in bloom and glow effects, will give you just results that aren't really like this kind of diffused, like natural light fall off. They'll just use like a Gaussian blur algorithm, and it'll give you like the results just don't look this good. This is like this is like top tier. You can see there's more glow towards the light source, and it kind of falls out as you go farther and farther away, as this was modeled after like real life bloom. And next we can take a look at the color options. It's by default it kind of tries to detect what color the light sources are and just use that as the color of the bloom. But if you hit colorize right here, you'll see there's a new option that's available, which is color. And you can just adjust that to your liking. You use hue and saturation. You can set the hue to like this blue color. And you'll see that um, uh, our colorization algorithm is also modeled by how the light would fall off in real life. So if you just use like a built-in like hue and saturation colorize effect in most softwares, it would be like the same shade of blue all the way through. But as you can see here, like towards the light source, it's more cyan and gets more of this deep blue as you go towards the edges. If you choose like an orange color, you might notice it's more yellow at the light source and more red as you fall off to the edges. There's also this preview checkbox. If you leave it checked, um, every time you edit your one of these input fields and then hit enter, it will update the preview based on what you've inputted. But if you leave it unchecked, this can just help speed up your workflow if that's what you want. You can't see what's going on with your image, but you can adjust these values a lot faster and then recheck preview in the end. Now, if we take a look at our export options, we have two buttons, export full image and export bloom layer. Uh, if you want to export the full image, that'll just download this file as a PNG. But export bloom layer can be very helpful. It just exports like only the bloom and on a black background, and that gives you more control if you would like, because what I can do here is open this up, this image, I can open it up in like Photoshop or whatever photo editing software you like, and you can just adjust the colors, like the contrast, you can adjust all of that uh, to your own liking, and then you can composite it over your original image by using like the screen blend mode. What you can also do with this is, if I go back to my original previewed image, what you can also do is, for example, color black over the light sources that you don't want, like these lights over here. And if you export the bloom layer, you can isolate the glow for this part of the image and then composite it back over the original image, so that way you can apply glow to the top part only without adding glow to the the lights on the edges that you colored black over. And with that technique, what you can do is target each light source individually and customize things like color and like intensity separately if that's what you want. So again, this export bloom layer, it's slower than doing export full image, but you can customize it to your own liking if you're a more advanced user. So that's basically all for the little tour of the app. Um, please go ahead and try it out. A link to this website is in the description. If you have any questions or feedback about the experience of the app, if you think there's something broken, if you think there's something we could improve on, uh, feel free to come over to support and contact us, or come over to community where you can actually post on our Discord server any feedback or questions, like if you need help or anything. Feel free to go on one of those two and ask away. But that's all I have to say for now. Uh, Thanks for watching this video. Share this with your friends if you like it, and if you think I should make more of these. I hope to see you next time.